So we're back on the record in clause number 325520, State of Texas versus Royce Allen Perry. Ms. Musgrove,
Yes, Your Honor.
are you offering states exhibit number 1 and number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Perry, the state has offered states exhibit number 1 and states exhibit number 2 to be used as evidence against your in your case. States exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. State's exhibit number 2 is the probable cause affidavit that you read earlier. Do you have any objections to the state using state's exhibit number 1 and number 2 as evidence in your case?
No, sir.
Okay. No objections. State's exhibit number 1 and state's exhibit number 2 will be admitted. Mr. Perry, is there any evidence that you're currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Perry, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The state is offering 5 days jail time, credit for time served, taxing and retiring court costs, and forfeiture of weapons.
Mr. Perry,
Yes, sir.
let me see your judgment. The state, in this case, is offering that you serve 5 days in jail. However, you have a copy of the cost. However, you would not have to pay, you will not have to serve 5 days in jail because you've already served 5 days in jail. Therefore, you'd be given credit for time served. If you owe any court costs and the court cost is $337, you would not have to pay that court cost either because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, your court costs will be taxed and retired. The state will be forfeiting the weapon in this case. And Mr. I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon. It says to the Honorable Judge of said court comes now Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, and makes this motion requesting the court enter an order pursuant to Article 1819 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, wherein the court orders the weapon to wit a Smith & Wesson number, I guess serial number FWR9649. The defendant has been notified that he is entitled to the weapon upon written request to the magistrate. However, the defendant is not requesting the weapon. Therefore, the weapon is being forfeited to the Nederland Police Department in the state of Texas. Wherefore, the state hereby pray that this motion be granted. Now, Mr. Perry, you recognize this motion?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature on this motion?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this motion true and correct?
As far as now, yes, sir.
Okay, true and correct. Okay. Now, Mr. Perry, the state, well, the court, no, first of all, Mr. Perry, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Perry, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state, and the court is going to make a finding on the record that Mr. Perry does not request a weapon before the 61st day of the date of the judgment of conviction, and the court determines based on the circumstances around the commission of this offense that the possession of seized weapon would pose a threat to the community or one or more individuals. All right. My recorders want to sign this motion, Mr. Perry. You can stand over here. You can get a copy of the motion, a copy of